There's a quiet crisis creeping back into Australian society, one the nation has fought before. It's not a virus or natural disaster. It's something far more personal and long-lasting. Australia's so-called ancient enemy has returned long-term unemployment. 4 years after the economic bounce back during the pandemic, things seem to be improving. More jobs, more opportunities, and a sense that we were slowly moving forward. But recently, a milestone was crossed, and not a good one. For the first time in a long while, the number of Australians who have been out of work for over a year has surpassed those who've only been unemployed for a few weeks. That's right. More people are stuck in long-term unemployment than in short-term job hunting. And the warning signs are flashing not just for workers, but for the entire economy. Let's break this down. Being unemployed for a few weeks? It happens. It's part of life. Maybe your company closed down. Maybe a project ended. Or your industry is seasonal like events or film. These short periods between jobs are often manageable. They're frustrating, but they're also expected. But what happens when those few weeks stretch into months? And then years? That's where the real damage begins. Not just to the individual, but to the nation. Long-term unemployment isn't just about lost income. It chips away at a person's mental health, their confidence, and even their lifespan. Studies have shown that being out of work for extended periods can actually reduce your life expectancy. Imagine the daily stress, the shame, the hopelessness sending out hundreds of job applications with no replies. That becomes your reality. One young Aussie recently shared that he gave up after nearly 100 job rejections. 100. Think about what that does to someone's spirit. But this isn't just a personal struggle, it's an economic one too. The workforce is like a muscle. When it's not used, it weakens. Skills fade, technology evolves, and people fall behind. Someone who hasn't worked in 10 years may not know the latest tools, software, or even safety standards. Retraining takes time and resources. And when thousands face this at once, the economic cost is massive. There's a term for this, it's called hysteresis. It describes how unemployment can cause permanent damage to the economy. And right now, Australia is facing that risk head-on. Currently, around 800,000 Australians are on the JobSeeker payment. Over half of them are men. The base rate is about $781, 10 cents per fortnight, barely enough to survive in today's cost of living crisis. And with more people slipping into long-term unemployment, the pressure on Centrelink and on government resources is growing. It's a wake-up call not just for policymakers, but for every Australian. We can't afford to let this slide. Because once someone falls into long-term unemployment, getting back out is incredibly hard. The government must act with better job training, support systems, and programs to reconnect people with work. But we also need to talk about this openly, remove the stigma, and recognize that behind every number is a real person, with a story, a skill set, and a future worth saving. Long-term unemployment is the ancient enemy we thought we'd beaten. But it's back. And if we don't take it seriously, it could weaken the very foundation of our workforce and our society.